Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up Podcast. Today, we're diving into week 5 of the NFL action, giving you, players of the week and players of the week for each position. We'll also do a little college stuff. This is the Drafted Up Podcast. You know where to find us: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Search Drafted Up Podcast. We'll be there. Like, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. That's Nick. I'm Theo. How you doing today, Nicholas?
Doing pretty good, man. Can't really complain. Had a heartbreaking loss in our home league because of that wacky Trevor Lawrence game-winning touchdown. So there was literally just enough points to get my opponent to beat me by 1 point. So heartbreaking loss there, and then the Giants looked like dog shit. So, hey, what a good weekend. But we're here. I'm excited to talk week 5.
What a play by Trevor Lawrence. Truly
insane play.
Great
Truly
play, and
insane.
Apologies to the Jacksonville Jaguars, as we expected them to get whooped, and this team might be for real.
They're okay. They're definitely better than I thought, but
they're okay. They beat the Chiefs and 49ers back-to-back weeks, and
they're okay. We'll see how long it holds up. I still don't trust it.
I think they would be borderline top 5 for me if we did some power rankings. I do.
Probably not for me, I'll be honest with you. Do not trust.
Nick's a hater.
For sure. If they would play the Chiefs 10 times, I think the Chiefs would beat them 8 times. I truly believe that.
Well, that's not how football works.
I get that. I truly understand that. I'm just telling you, I do not trust the Jaguars at all.
That defense is so good, though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the head coach. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence at all.
Oh, I trust Mr. Duval himself, Liam Cohen. I've been about that through the process. Some injury news before we dive into our college stuff. Amari Hampton, he went on IR, so he joins the running list of injuries here the last 2 weeks for football. So now the Chargers backfield, they already lost Najee Harris. We're looking at Hassan Haskins and draft favorite from last year, Kamani Vidal, 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's their backfield, and 2 years ago. I'm not overly excited about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Nah, I'm not going out there chasing either of them, really, because I don't know what it's going to look like. I think it honestly could just end up being that they're... I know it diverges from what they want to do, but I think this could just be a passing offense until Hampton gets back and we see just Herbert and them try to just air it out and throw the ball 45 times a game, which is what they don't want to do, but that might be their only option.
Even that I don't trust with how bad their offensive line is at this point. Injuries have shot this team in the foot, unfortunately. I still really like them. I would honestly take them over the Jaguars, if we're being honest. And they've lost the last 2 weeks. So it's rough. Injuries killed this team, but I do think if at some point they can pull it together, get healthy, I think they'll still be able to make the playoffs, but it's going to be a lot harder than it was come like week 2. Week 2, this team was a shoo-in, kind of like Green Bay.
Yeah. Joe Alt should be back sooner rather than later, so that's good news for them. They absolutely need him out there. Anything else? Was it really just Hampton?
That went down. Terry McLaurin's still not officially going to play next week or this week, week 6 coming up, but he might be out there. Just keep an eye on him. But yeah, I don't think there were over a ton of injuries, to be honest. Let me quick check. JJ McCarthy, he's ready for on-field work, still not playing because you guys have the bye week.
I honestly...
Colts kicker, he's out for the year now. That's kind of a huge loss. He's been really good all season.
That's their second kicker down.
Yeah, but that's a big loss for that team. We've seen how it affected them.
Yeah.
Brendan Strange, he went to the IR last night.
Yeah,
he got hurt.
Yeah, he did get hurt Monday, and he went on IR this morning. So lost there for Jacksonville, but you're not going to go out there looking for Johnny Mundt to replace him.
What about the big news of Odell Beckham accepting a 6-game suspension because, that, honest to God, matters at this point?
What
do we? I don't understand that at all. Give this guy a 6-game ban for the steroid scandal last year.
I would assume that someone was looking at potentially
thinking
picking him
about
up,
signing him. Yeah,
and that's just kind of lingering over. And maybe he was going to try to fight it, so maybe he's just taking the suspension in hopes that someone signs him in time for a playoff run. But I highly doubt it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, as a Giants fan, I would take him back in New York just for the entertainment of it. We need a receiver. Obviously, we're not going to make a run or anything, but it would honestly do Jackson Dart some type of benefit to have a legitimate receiver out there that's not Wandale and Slayton if healthy.
Yeah.
Not injury news, but Joe Flacco was traded today.
That's where I was going. Yeah, Joe Flacco goes from the Browns. No low moving costs here. A couple towns over, Cincinnati. So he is now with Cincinnati, and I imagine he is going to be the Bengals quarterback here shortly. Probably not this week, but we'll see. If he is being
this week with
he
how
could be
bad Browning was.
The first player in NFL history to beat the same team twice on a different team, as the Bengals play the Packers this week. And Joe Flacco's already beat the Packers as a member of the Cleveland Browns. So, a little interesting nugget there if Flacco does win here for the Bengals. Honestly, this seems like a linear change to me. Like, the Bengals aren't going to be any better. Joe Flacco is going to die behind this offensive line, but I think it does give you a little more confidence in the Bengals' weapons now in Chase Higgins and even Chase Brown, with a slightly more confident Joe Flacco back there. Even though Flacco wasn't playing great for Cleveland, Jake Browning has been absolutely abysmal this year.
Yeah, he's been playing really bad, and man, Flacco's old at this point, obviously, and with that O-line Cincinnati's fielding, I don't expect this to be a good matchup, but Flacco does throw a better ball than Browning, so I get the upgrade. It is an upgrade, to be honest, and Chase owners and T. Higgins, I think T. Higgins owners should be a lot happier with Joe Flacco out there than Browning.
Yeah. Jamar Chase did wonders there in garbage time for the Bengals. They were down a ton against Detroit, and we'll talk about him there. I don't think there's anything else. So,
no, news-wise, pretty light week.
Ravens traded their defensive lineman, whose name just slipped my mind, a kid from Penn State. They traded him to the Rams for draft picks. Odafe Owe, or the Chargers, sorry, wrong LA team. So he goes from one Harbaugh to another, but that's not going to do a ton of work. But the Chargers do need pass rushers. No Khalil Mack there. All right, college football. Let's give out some game balls, some helmet stickers, if you want to really dive into the college aspect of things, and then we'll do our prospect spotlight series. I know you only have one game ball, because I got three.
Oh my goodness, that's insane. Yes, I got one game ball.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start. A little shout out to a small school dude. I was telling you this Sunday. Taron Dickens, the quarterback from Western Carolina, the Catamounts of the FCS. He started the game against Wofford, 46 for 46, so 46 straight completions. The game previous to that, he ended with 4 straight. So essentially had 50 straight completions, which crushed the FCS record of 29 straight, as he led the Western Carolina Catamounts to a victory over Wofford. He ended up finishing the game 53 for 56, which is insane. And it was 378 yards and 3 touchdowns. I know you can be like, those are dump offs, screen passes, all that stuff, but still, it's an incredible feat to go 53 of 56. So just a little shout out to small school Western Carolina's Taron Dickens at quarterback. My real game balls to the big name guys. I'll start off with just the UCLA football program. UCLA went into their game Saturday with interim coaches at head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and they defeated top 10 Penn State 42-37. Nico Iamavia, I forget how to say his name. Nico, we talked about him in summer scouting. 17 for 24, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns, an additional 128 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He looked like that standout we projected when he was a freshman at Tennessee, this highly rated quarterback. And it was great to see because, it has not been great for him at UCLA. It's been really bad. Nice little tidbit there. Interim head coach Tim Skipper now has as many wins against a top 10 opponent as Penn State's head coach James Franklin. UCLA also became the first school since the Ronald Reagan presidency to be 0-4 and defeat a top 10 program. So shout out the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, that was just a team that looked like they were just having fun out there. They really, obviously, probably didn't believe they had a chance, but they're just going to go out there, play football, play hard, and they did that, and it was successful. It wasn't a pretty game at all, but man, they went out there and upsetted Penn State in hilarious fashion. Love to see it.
Yeah. Who's your game ball here for Saturday?
Game ball goes to Miami quarterback Carson Beck. Last time we seen Carson Beck was out there versus Florida, and it was his worst game of the season. He had no touchdowns. He turned over the ball. He had less than 200 passing yards. But they managed the game. They had a couple rushing touchdowns and won 26-7, I think. But this week he went out there and shined in prime time, 7:30, in front of the world versus Florida State, number 3 ranked Miami versus, I think they were like 18 at the time, Florida State. He went out there, put 240, 4 touchdowns through the air, 20 for 27. Absolutely insane performance. Shout out Carson Beck for really turning around his draft stock, which, hint, hint, I'll be talking about in a little bit. But he is playing out of this world right now for the Miami Hurricanes, and you love to see guys like this kind of story. Mm-hmm. He was the guy 2-3 years ago for Georgia, and he had a down year last year, and he transferred, and I think it was honestly for the best scenario possible, and we will get there very shortly about Carson Beck's draft stock, though.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, coming into the process 2 years ago had Beck as QB1. Ultimately, it was Cam Ward and Shadur through the process. Everybody had Shadur at 2, or most people. Jackson Dart rose up through the ranks as well. But like early on, it was Carson Beck was the clear QB1, and he just had that terrible year in Georgia, but really good worker in the middle of the field. So I look forward to hearing your take on Carson Beck. As I mentioned during the After Dark episode that it might be Carson Back. Nice little pun. We always got him here. On the podcast. So I like that. I'm not quite where you are with Carson Beck, but we'll see come the actual scouting stuff towards the draft. But final game ball, Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville. Are you familiar with him?
Familiar with the name, yes. Familiar with the game, no.
Okay. 6'2", 220, big boy. Okay. And this is the rare. This might be the first time we've given a game ball to a school that lost. They lost on Saturday in overtime to Virginia. And despite coming up short, Chris Bell had 12 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the class early on here is kind of wide open, at least in my eyes, outside of Jordan Tyson, who's in my eyes the clear-cut number 1 receiver in this class. But after that, like, it's kind of clumped up. You can make a case for Mekhi Lemon. You can make a case for Denzel Boston. I know that Drew Cardinal Tate out of Ohio State. But I think it's time we get Chris Bell's name into that bucket. Like, I think he's potentially that good. So I can't wait to really do a full dive into his game at Louisville with Miller Moss there from USC, the transfer. But I think it's time we get him into that conversation. And 12 for 170 and 2 touchdowns, that's no joke there against a good Virginia program who upset Florida State 2 weeks ago. So game ball there to Chris Bell from Louisville, wide receiver.
Hell yeah, that's a big game too. 12 caddies, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Ooh, you love to see it. Yeah.
All right. You wanna dive in on Carson Beck, or you want me to go first with my prospect?
No, I might as well start because we kind of spoiled there with Carson Beck. So Carson Beck, senior quarterback for Miami. He was a 2-year starter at Georgia, and his 2022 he balled out. He was the best quarterback in the SEC, bar none. It wasn't even close. A lot of people's quarterback won going into 2023. 2023, he had a step back. He could have came out, but he didn't. He decided to come back, transfer to Miami, and it was easily the best thing that kid could have done. His transfer to Miami has been a clear turnaround. He is playing like 2022 Carson Beck, maybe even a little bit better, to be honest. He sees the field cleaner, I believe. He sees pressure a lot cleaner now than he did in 2022. That was his problem in 2023. The pressure got to him, and he started to panic, and he reads the defenses probably the best out of any quarterback I've evaluated so far for this class. He will stand in the pocket, break down your whole defense even before he snaps the ball, making every adjustment he needs to do. He's so smart. He's so clean. He knows how to pepper up the field too. Like, you love it. His ball placement over receivers' shoulders is flawless. His accuracy has improved so much in the last 2 years. You absolutely love to see it. He's still not my quarterback 1 for the draft class, but he has skyrocketed up my board. Maybe to a little bit of bias that he plays for my Miami Hurricanes, but man, I absolutely am in love with Carson Beck this year. He is very close to my top 3, probably, if I had to put numbers on my quarterbacks right now. But he is quarterback 1 when it comes to football IQ easily and ball placement. Middle of the field, not so much down the field. His deep ball accuracy isn't great, but his short ball accuracy and middle of the field accuracy, best in the class in my eyes so far. What else can I say about Carson Beck that I love? Oh my God, him in the red zone is insane. Like, he will break down your defense in the red zone. He's kind of like Matt Stafford in terms of like his eyes. He can move guys very easily with his eyes and put the ball wherever it needs to be. He's really good at pulling safeties away from guys based on where he's looking, and then he'll throw in a completely different direction. So shout out Carson Beck. Huge upgrade from 2023 to 2024. He is in the running to go in probably the top 2 rounds as of right now, and possibly be a top 2 to 3 quarterback taken in the 2026 draft.
Yeah, with Beck, I agree. His processing is really good, especially when he's on. When
dude,
he's
processing
on, his
nuts,
processing
bro.
is up there with the best of them. I just worry there is a little bit of a lack of ceiling for him. Like, he's not in my top 5 quarterbacks right now, but a lot could change throughout the process. Guys declare, guys go back to school, stuff like that. But I agree. We're probably looking at a day 2 guy right now in my eyes. I don't think he ends up in the first round, but we'll see how the Hurricane season goes. And he hasn't been playing slouches, which is great for his like evaluation. Like, Miami is playing legitimate schools: Notre Dame, Florida State, Florida, USF. All these teams, really good quality talent out there. So that's great for his tape study if you focus on this year. But I do worry that, like, we could just see glimpses of old Carson Beck with Georgia. It's kind of finding a middle ground with him. Was that just a down year last year, or is that just an improvement this year with Miami? We'll see. But he has definitely improved his stock. Like, I was not looking forward to Carson Beck coming in, but he's done wonders here with Miami.
Yeah, I was kind of dreading doing another Carson Beck tape watch, because now we're going into year 3.
Year 3.
Carson Beck. And it just kind of gets old, man. And like 2022, I liked him, but I wasn't in love with him. And then last year, I was like, okay, it makes sense that he kind of took a step back. I wasn't in love with him. But he transferred to Miami, so like I jokingly just hopped on board. I'm like, okay, I got to be in on Carson Beck. Just as a player, I didn't have to be on him as like a prospect, but he's blown me away, man. I'm hella impressed. The way he is so football-oriented, he seems so focused. He seems so dialed in. Like, it's clear that this was his last opportunity. Like, this is going to be it. These are your last 12 starts in college. Make do with what you're given. And as a kid, if you're showing me that you're willing to do this with the opportunity in front of you, I'm willing to take a shot on you in the NFL just based off of what he did in 2022, what he's doing now against great competitions both years in the SEC and the ACC, the 2 best conferences in football, and he's out here essentially molly-whopping competition, dude. So, shout out Carson Beck, dude. I hope to God his season continues, because I would love to see Miami go on and win a national championship. And if that happens and he has a killer playoff run, a good combine, I'm willing to say we're looking at a day 1 pick. But it's a lot to happen. It's a lot for him to be a day 1 pick.
Yeah, it was a rocky start over the summer, because it was just like, oh, Carson Beck. There was all this drama that he transferred to Miami.
Yes.
His girlfriend's there, and then there was like Snapchats that he was like cheating on her and all this stuff, and they may or may not have broken up. I don't know. I don't really dive into that with the Cavender twins.
They are not together. Maybe? They are not together from my understanding. I believe she's a basketball player.
Okay, maybe it's basketball, yeah. They're with WWE. With
that I did not know.
NIT stuff, yeah, I don't know. So like it was just like, oh, this is going to be dreadful, and he's come out, and this isn't the Miami Hurricanes team of last year. Like, the offense isn't as good as it was with Cam Ward. It's not as explosive. It's a little bit more efficient. Doesn't rely too much on the big play. But this Miami defense is much insane. Better than it was the previous year. And kudos to former Minnesota Golden Gophers defensive coordinator, who is now with Miami. He's really revamped that defense, and they got a ton of pieces over there. But like this Miami team, like I said, should be in contention to be in the national title hunt. And I think right now
I agree.
They're right behind Ohio State as the best team in the nation, but I would understand if you said
Ohio
their team
State
won just based off their schedule and who they've played so far.
Yeah, that is true. They have been playing very good competition, and they've looked really good throughout the whole season. So I would say that, but they didn't just lose like Cam Moore. They lost a whole lot on that offense. They lost Restrepo, who is arguably the best receiver in Miami history. Damian Martinez, who was an absolute dog for that team. Elijah Arroyo, who took a really big leap into a senior year. So they lost essentially their 4 best offensive players besides their offensive line. And you can tell, but you can't tell as much as you should be. I love how the transfer portal works. I get you can bitch about the transfer portal, but to go in and just replace those 4 guys who are all NFL talent, they were all, not all 4 were drafted, but Restrepo he should have been drafted, man, in my eyes. But
Damian Martinez, I don't think was drafted either, was he?
Yeah, Martinez won the 7th.
Oh, I thought he was also a UDFA for the Seahawks.
No, Martinez was drafted.
Yeah, and CJ Daniels, who they brought in from LSU, good receiver. He had that incredible catch week 1 or week 0 with back
the freshman receiver Malachi Tony. He's an absolute dog,
he's going to be good. I can't wait till we get to that point where we can be talking about his NFL prospects. But
I agree, dude. He had a great touchdown versus Florida State, dude. He took a slant to the house, and you can just see he's going to be so good, dude. He should have had another
one too that was called back. I think about holding. He should have had like close to 200 yards and like 3 touchdowns on Saturday against FSU. I'm going tight end. First tight end we're going to talk about here in the prospect series, and that's Oregon's tight end Kenyon Sadiq, 6'3", 245, true junior. He looks like he's going to continue that trend of highly drafted tight ends. Really good athlete, really versatile. He can line up in the slot, in line, outside, as an H-back. A little undersized, but he's that prototypical receiving style tight end that the NFL's kind of been shifting towards. Like I said, he lines up everywhere. He's really good after the catch, dangerous in the open field. And despite being undersized, he's shown above average ability as a run blocker. Really fluid mover. Like I said, in open field, he's a threat to take it to the house anytime he has the ball. Not so great route runner, but I think that'll come as he progresses as a player. Like, he wasn't the full-time starter last year. You got to remember, Terrence Ferguson was there. And I remember at times while watching Ferguson, I'm like, man, who's this other cat? Like, this other tight end they got is pretty good. It's Kenyon Sadiq. And I think if he could sure up his route running as he matures as a player, he does have some concentration drops as well. So if we could sure that up, I think we're looking at a guy who could be, come the time, we're talking about him as like a top 10, top 15 player in our big boards. Like, I think the potential's there for that. Obviously, being a tight end, he probably goes mid to late first, because he's not quite Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, those kind of guys. But to me, this is clear-cut tight end 1 in this class. I don't think anybody's better than him. I think he's the only tight end worth taking round 1. Like I said, really good athlete. I can't wait to see what the process goes for if he does enter the draft. Like I said, he is a true junior, so he doesn't necessarily have to come out. I think he does just because of the ceiling he possesses at the position.
I also think he comes out based off the tight end class. It's kind of a weaker tight end class. There's no Brock Bowers. There's no Tyler Warren. There's no that kind of guy.
There's a lot of like day 2 guys in this tight end class.
Yeah.
Like second, third round dudes. There's not that elite process, but I think Sadiq is there.
He reminds me of a more athletic Harold Fannin. That's the kind of vibe I got from him. He's a jack of all trades. He could do anything. He does run clean routes, but they need to be improved. But everything you can kind of talk about is things I said about Harold Fannin throughout the process last season. He's a little bit undersized. He's an H-back. He's a tight end. He can kick it out wide. He plays a lot. He can do anything you ask him to do. So
with Sadiq, I've at least seen like above average run blocking ability, which you didn't really get that with Fannin. And that could have just been a Bowling Green situation because, they just ran a spread, no huddle stuff, whereas Oregon, intertwines a lot of stuff in their offense. So the ability of him possessing blocking ability, huge upside for him going forward, as well as just the athletic profile we know is there. We don't have to really worry about, like, can this dude block?
Yeah, we know it's there. You don't have to question it. And I would say that Harold Fannin didn't have to block at Bowling Green. The offense literally ran through him, so they never asked him to block because he was the number 1 target. He was the number 1 look. So you're not going to have your Jamar Chase block constantly. You're going to have him go out there and catch the ball constantly. So Harold Fannin, I think, is a better blocker than people gave him credit for coming out. But I agree, Sadiq is better than Harold Fannin was in this point in the process.
Yeah. With Fannin, like, that was a drills, like, teams, obviously, if they interviewed, they were doing blocking
they
stuff.
Were having him run, yeah.
If he could, you didn't know based off just tape. You actually had to dive into practices and getting him out there. All right. Let's give a shout out to Finley Force, as we hope those guys that we talked about today make a force in the NFL potentially. Finley hats, their hats built for good times and long times. If your hat is damaged or destroyed, they will replace it or repair it absolutely free. They offer free shipping across the United States. They do weekly drops every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's 7 p.m. Central or Western Pacific. Time zones, man, they're dumb. Just get on one wave of things. But yeah, Finley hats, in the link in the description, there's a link. You can click it. 15% off your first purchase over at Finley hats. So join the Finley Force, support our friends over there, and support the podcast by getting yourself a good hat. All right, let's get into our players of the week. All caps.
Now, real quick with college. Missouri plays Alabama this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to see how Ahmad Hardy, 2 weeks ago we talked about in the freshman or junior running back. I think he's a junior.
Sophomore. I keep calling him a freshman. He is a sophomore.
No, he's not a freshman because he transferred last year from ULMM or whatever that college is, University of Monroe. But that competition versus Alabama, if he's able to go off, I'm willing to solidify him as like an actual prospect if he's able to have a great game versus Alabama. So it's a big game for that kid, game of the life. But if they're able to upset number 8 Alabama, they're ranked 14, dude. So
Missouri 5-0.
Missouri's no slouch. Yeah,
they're undefeated. They could run. Yeah,
I believe they're 5-0.
If I do an After Dark episode, that would be one of the games I'd bring up. I don't know if it's gonna be something I'm gonna do every week, but it might be something I do every other week here and there if I have time after I work a 16-hour shift. All right, quarterbacks of the week. CJ Stroud. It's great to
Big
see
dog.
That it's still there. It's still there. We've kind of run CJ Stroud down from at least a fantasy perspective. He's just been utterly useless the last year and a half. And to see it, even with the bad line, like he went out and he torched Baltimore, which, I mean, everybody has, but that's what he was supposed to do when he did it. Baltimore is a whole other question with their defense. They got to figure something out. They signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's not going to fix their secondary. But yeah, CJ Stroud went out there. Incredible week for him. Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes. All great weeks this week from the quarterback position.
Yeah, for sure. Justin Fields had a really good fourth quarter, so shout out my start of the week.
Yeah.
I was
saved you there.
Absolutely terrified going into the fourth quarter that he was playing horrendous. Baker Mayfield versus Seattle. He's another quarterback we didn't mention. That game, Tampa Bay versus Seattle, was insane. Back and forth, wild game.
Lived up to the hype that I was building it up for.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to all those guys. Oh, man, Trevor Lawrence, man, that's a legitimate performance. Like, versus a great defense, Kansas City, Monday night, primetime game in front of the world.
That a lot of people, I believe, were doubting him. I know it just wasn't us. Like, we expected like the Chiefs, they were turning the corner, and is Jacksonville even legit? And they hung in there with one of the best organizations. Liam Cohen went toe-to-toe with Andy Reid. A great game for him. Trevor Lawrence, it was great to see him step up and look like that number 1 overall pick, that generational talent that everybody proclaimed in the beginning. He looked the part on Monday against Kansas City.
Yeah, for sure. He played a really good game. I don't think it's going to be like that going forward because he had 2 rushing touchdowns. That's not going to be a sustainable thing. But he got BTJ involved. He was getting Travis Hunter involved.
Scoop, though.
Yeah, he could move. Even in college, you could see he could kind of kick it out and he can move. I mean, shit, he fell
Travis
twice.
Hunter?
Oh, that 44-yard catch by Hunter was insane, dude.
Travis Hunter on Monday looked more like the kid I watched
college
at Colorado.
Yes.
Like, he looked
I agree.
It came together. It's like, okay, it's what we need. Like, get Travis Hunter involved. Like, he was real shifty in space as well. He had that catch, like we said. It was great to see there. A great performance overall for Jacksonville. It made me really happy. It looked like their offense was clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, not just the deep 44-yard catch. He had a short over the middle catch. It was probably for only like 4 or 5 yards, but he had so much separation, and then he stopped on a dime and quick cut back to the opposite side of the field. And that play specifically, like that's Colorado Travis Hunter. Like that's the Travis Hunter we need on this field. So yeah, it was nice. Good performance for all the Jaguars all around. Shout out that whole team for sure.
Yeah. Dak Prescott still continues to be wonderful. That's 2 weeks in a row. We've been talking about him here.
All he needed was to lose CeeDee Lamb. That's all he needed. It's no big deal.
Yeah. What a wild thing to say. Oh, let my number one option go down. We'll be better. And Ryan Flournoy involved. That guy had 6 grabs for 119.
Insane.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for CeeDee Lamb to come back. Like last week, I talked about that Dak and CeeDee is the stack that I want most in football. I'm sticking to that. I'm so confident in that. I think when CeeDee comes back, both these guys are going to be top 5 at their position for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Dallas is going to be great for fantasy because their defense is terrible. So every game they're in feels like it's a shootout. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see going forward what it's like for the Cowboys. Anyone else? Matt Stafford, we brought him up. It's 2 weeks in a row. He's also had great fantasy performances. We'll see if that sticks. I don't think it does long term just because there's no rushing ability.
He's a near top 5 quarterback in fantasy right now. I would be willing to take a shot on him, but just with the next couple of matchups, like Baltimore, Jacksonville's rough, but you can still pass on
Baltimore. Lock in any quarterback against the Ravens.
Oh yeah, well, we'll sneak that. Matt Stafford's probably my start of the week this week. But he's got the bye week then, week 9 or week 8, but then he's got New Orleans and San Fran, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Arizona. Those are all teams you could really pass on.
Yeah.
So hook me up with Stafford, Puka, Devontae Adams, all going forward. I think they're all going to be really productive.
Puka's almost on a 2,000-yard pace.
I am so worried. I'm more worried about Puka's health than I am Christian McCaffrey's health. I'm not going to lie to you, dude.
Puka's always out there hurt. But if he does it, we might be looking at a guy going first, top 7 next year. Like we've already brought up JSN in that kind of group, and Puka Nakua's name probably belongs in there as well.
I mean, Puka was borderline top 4 or 5 this year.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt, Stafford got hurt. And then all the Rams just kind of slid back.
Yeah.
So I really do think that, Stafford might not be there next year, so that does impact a lot of stuff. Because whatever quarterback you replace Stafford with, dude, he's not going to be able to throw the ball like Matt Stafford can. Like, Matt Stafford can handle 2,000-yard receivers. He almost did it with Calvin Johnson. He almost did it with Cooper Kupp. He's almost going to do it with Puka Nacua this year, barring health. Matt Stafford's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, dude. Like, he deserves every flower in the world. I love that. He's amazing.
He is so wide receiver friendly. Like he can make any receiver.
For sure.
And that's not to say Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua are talented in their own rights, but it does help having a gunslinger type guy like a mercenary picking apart the middle of the field like a Matt Stafford. Ready to move on to running backs?
Yeah, I think so. It's just a lot of quarterbacks has had like ho-hum weeks. Like none of them had, not none of them, but just a lot of them had 17 to 22 points. So I think we touched on most of the big plays.
Yeah.
Real quick, Sam Darnold has looked phenomenal behind an offensive line that is terrible. So he's actually good. You think he's good?
We were watching that game. And he threw that touchdown to Torrey
That touchdown was beautiful.
And I just kind of sat there and just went, huh? And you're like, what? And I'm like, should have signed Sam Darnold. This guy was my quarterback last year. We had him in the room.
Sam Darnold.
I'm thrilled. Like I was in on Seattle this year, and I was a little higher. I was higher on Darnold than you were, but I still had my doubts that like he was good. I thought he was just, acceptable, serviceable at the quarterback position. But, I think after a year and now a quarter we've seen of Sam Darnold, I think he has turned that Baker Mayfield. I think he is a guy who can be a starting quarterback for 5 more years at least.
I agree. I think he's definitely going to play out his contract in Seattle, the 3-year contract. So I think that was a great signing by Seattle. Definitely looking like absolute geniuses. Moving on from Geno, who has
been
horrendous, and then Sam Darnold has been playing out of this world. So shout out Seattle, shout out Sam Darnold for just putting this together with not a good or great offensive line. So that's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, the Kubiak scheme has been really beneficial to the linemen with the quick plays, and Gray Zabel's been pretty good as well at guard, and they're staying healthy as well, and that's a big part of that.
That's a big
going
thing
forward. Yeah. All right, running backs. Rico freaking Dowdle, man.
Insane, unstoppable. He is the reason they won that game. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind. It was on literally the back and the legs of Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, 200 yards for Rico on Sunday against Miami. They play Dallas next week. Do you think the Panthers just kind of ease Chuba back into this and kind of let Rico show off against his old team, and we had just this big Rico revenge game against a pretty bad Cowboys defense? Or like I don't know how you can go back to Chuba dominating this backfield after that performance from Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, no, I agree. Rico's already come out and made a statement that Dallas needs to buckle up next week. Yeah. That is an amazing statement. Regardless of if Chuba's Hubbard is out there, I think Rico's going to be out there a bunch come next week.
Yeah, and I know Javonte Williams has been really good for the Cowboys. It has been a great signing for them, and you were right. Javonte has paid off in values where I thought this was going to be more of a split thing, and where I didn't want any of it. It's been Javonte's backfield. He's looked good. He keeps scoring. He had another great week this week. We'll talk about him here. And I've just been like, Dallas had Rico Dowdle. They should have kept him, and Javonte's kind of silenced that, but I still would rather Rico Dowdle than Javonte doesn't have the juice that Rico has. And I think that's I think Rico Dowdle would be putting up these numbers, if not better, if he was in Dallas right now, as Javonte was doing. I think they'd be better.
I'm a Javonte supporter this season, that is, and I would agree to that. I think Rico would be putting up equal numbers to Javonte. But Javonte, man, that's insane what he's doing down there in Dallas, dude. Career high in touchdowns already, and we're through 5 weeks. He's got 5 touchdowns already. He's involved in the passing game, so it's amazing. If you were able to scoop that guy up in the 9th and 10th, man, and I have that guy in a ton of leagues. He's been paying off tremendously.
For you. Yep. Christian McCaffrey. Tell me where you've heard that before. Top performer. Another great game as he continues to siphon health from San Francisco 49ers players. Kyren Williams, big week as well. On Thursday, he was used a ton out of the receiving game. Jonathan Taylor continues to do work. He's the best running back in fantasy right now. And how about two guys who we haven't talked a ton about? Rashad White, playing for Bucky Irving. He handled the workload well. Classic Rashad White was not overly efficient, but he was scoring touchdowns, catching passes. It's like when he becomes the starter, it's like he forgets how to be an efficient running back. Like at one point he had 11 carries for 26 yards, which was Rashad White from last year. Whereas or 2 years ago, like this year he's been efficient because he's had less carries and whatever, but he was still great for fantasy. And Ja'Cory, aka Bill Krosky Merritt, showed up 2 touchdowns for the Commanders. He was involved in the passing game. Like I know last week we mentioned like he could be on the verge of being someone you could drop from your roster if bye weeks. If you didn't, I don't see any way where Washington moves on to a committee backfield here. I think this is a majority Bill Krosky Merritt backfield going forward. And if you still have him or you were able to snag him, I think you have a guy you can now put in your lineup. This is what we want to see from him, whereas we hadn't yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. This was the breakout game for Bill, and it helps so much having Jaden Daniels out there just on the RPOs, because it's either Jaden Daniels takes it for 15 to 20 yards or he gives it to Bill, and then Bill takes it for 5 to 10 yards. It's not the same when Mariota's out there, so having Jaden Daniels out there is so big for Bill. I'm very excited for Washington, especially when Terry comes back. I think it opens up even more for Bill. If you were lucky enough to keep Bill or snagged him on waivers, or, well, obviously waivers didn't run yet, but they go tonight. if he's on the market, go get Bill. He's got a great schedule coming up: Chicago, Dallas, Kansas City, Seattle. Those are all green matchups, all teams you can run on. So here we go, dude. Let's see if Bill is actually here to stay. Big week this week, though. 111 yards, 2 tutties.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Anyone else really? David Montgomery had a passing touchdown. He was a RB1 this week. Kareem Hunt was the
I would say Michael Carter. He
handled the bulk of the work there for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he is for sure their running back going forward. DeMarcado had that horrendous error where he dropped the ball before the touchdown. People need to stop doing that.
Speaking of DeMarcado, and this is a pro DeMarcado thing. Did you see Jonathan Gannon hit him on the sideline? Yeah,
I would have lost it if I was DeMarcado, dude. Shout out him for keeping us cool, but Gannon did come out and apologize, and he said, "I wish I handled that better." But everyone in that organization, literally from top to bottom, is an absolute idiot. In that game, they fumbled that ball so bad. Tennessee had no rights to even be involved in winning that game.
Yeah, but at the time of the DeMarcado play, it was 21-6. They were like, okay, not a big deal. Like it probably the snap that hit Kyler Murray right in the face.
Oh my god, dude!
And then the interception that they fumbled into the end zone that Tyler Lockett got. Like that was the most Cardinals way to lose a game. And had they won, it would have been the most Cardinals way to win a game too. But the Cardinals are kind of just in a scramble. I don't know what's going on there, but it is not ideal for them. It's
bad, but I do like Michael Carter though. Going forward, he had 5 catches. He had a majority of the carries.
Yeah, DeMarcado was barely used until that big catch. That was like his first play.
And they have come out and said that they're not going to punish him at all for it. But how much is he going to be out there regardless? Michael Carter is the running back I want from that room for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. All right, wide receivers. Emeka Egbuka just continues to do work here for Tampa Bay as Rookie of the Year. Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be Cam Ward, unfortunately.
Yep. Hampton's out now. Genty's just been okay.
I think the only running back you honestly have to worry about is Judkins.
Yeah, but Tampa's winning. Judkins, Cleveland isn't.
Yeah, so, no, I get that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Egbuka.
Maybe Tyler Warren, but tight ends never win the award. Brock Bowers.
It depends on his like. Yeah, but the Colts are going to be really good. Like, the Colts might make the playoffs where the Raiders weren't in the playoff running. But Ibuka's also on a playoff team. Like, the Bucs are going to make the playoffs because of their division, most likely. I would say Egbuka is far and away the offensive Rookie of the Year favorite.
Yeah, if you went out and snagged him, he's been incredible. And, just like we said, if there's an injury in this receiving room, he continues to move up the depth chart. Chris Godwin and Jalen McMillan were hurt to start the year, so it was him and Mike Evans. Mike Evans goes down. It was just Emeka Egbuka. Chris Godwin's back now, but this is Emeka Egbuka is probably the Buccaneers wide receiver you want going forward, even when Mike Evans gets back.
I agree. He's not their number one when Mike Evans comes back. Mike Evans is still the veteran number one. He's going to see a lot of the first look targets. But Egbuka is the fantasy number one. Next year, Mike Evans is still probably going to be playing. Egbuka is going to be the one at that point. Now, Egbuka is their number one going forward.
Yeah. Jamar Chase, we brought him up early. Absolutely
garbage
amazing.
Time, baby.
He had 2
points.
His one touchdown catch was incredible. Classic Jamar Chase tiptoe there. Jackson Smith and Jigba continues to be an utter force for fantasy, as does Puka Nacua. And how about Stephon Diggs showing up here? Revenge game, Patriots. I said I wanted to pick them. Like deep inside, I felt like New England could win that game, but Buffalo was my Super Bowl pick, and I just thought at home it was a better situation. New England comes out, they beat Buffalo 23-20. Stephon Diggs looked great. It looks like he's finally healthy. So going forward, if you hung on to him or if you were able to acquire him, I think you were looking at a flex guy rest of season with Drake May and how the Patriots, the run game hasn't been working. So, Drake May, it looks like he finally does have his reliable receiving option here.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of like Steph Diggs kind of started the year on the pup, like all the early reports were saying.
Yeah.
Week 1 through 4, he was ramping up. And in week 5, where he would have came off the pup, huge week. So I honestly think going forward, Steph Diggs is like a low-end wide receiver too, for sure.
Kendrick Bourne, nice week on Thursday. That's more.
Do you think
towards...
that's sustainable though? Like, do you think that's going to happen if Pearsall and Jennings are back?
No, I think once Pearsall and Jennings back, Bourne kind of just takes a seat. He was just a needed situation for him. Plus, Demarcus Robinson's, they're going to start ramping him up as well. And who knows when Brandon Ayuk's back.
But now here's a point to that. Do you remember when Juwan Jennings went out, when Brandon Ayuk and Debo were both hurt, and it was a huge game? He had 3 touchdowns, like 12 catches.
You're not.
Oh, well, he was only out there because he was needed.
You're not wrong.
No, he's the number 2 receiver on the team now. Yeah. So just keep Kendrick Bourne in mind, because it could be a Juwan Jennings situation where he's just out there now because he is playing really good.
Yeah, I mean, Jennings has missed 2 weeks in a row. Pearsall,
I don't think he takes from Pearsall. I think he's going to take from Jennings if he takes from anyone. Pearsall, in my eyes, is a really good receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. And Jennings missed camp time, so I think that also plays a part in it. I think he might be better at the end of the year than like right now, as obviously as we're seeing, he's been banged up here early on. Debo Samuel, good game. Jalen Waddle, Rashid Shaheed, he had a 82-yard touchdown catch.
Touchdown on a wide open shot. Shout out Jalen Waddle.
Smith, also great game for Philadelphia.
Jalen Waddle showing up without Tyreek. This is what I think we're going to have for the rest of the season. That's not going to be as good as this, but we're going to have Jalen Waddle. He's in the same range as like Devontae Smith, Debo Samuel.
Run the ball. Like they have
yeah. HM's not efficient at all. Yeah. I love that Waddle was able to show up. So it still shows me that Waddle is super talented, which I talked about all throughout the process, that last season it wasn't him. It was just the whole team was bad. Tua was banged up. Waddle's obviously banged up every single game. But he even left this week with the trainers and came back because that's what Waddle does. But 8 catches for 110 and a tutty, or 6 catches, 110 and a tutty, 9 targets. Absolutely phenomenal performance for Jalen Waddle. Hopefully we see that going forward.
Yeah, hopefully that continues rest of season. And shout out Calvin Ridley. Finally showed up this week after we said you could just cut his ass, and he had a nice little game there for the Titans. So that was good to see for him.
Yeah. I got nothing. He had that big shot down the field to get them into the touchdown range for Tony Pollard, but man, they should have not been in that game. Arizona, that is insane what happened.
Yeah. Anyone else there? Wide receivers?
I don't think. I think you touched based on most of the performance. How do you feel about Addison being benched the first quarter?
So after it finally did come out that he missed a walkthrough, I get it. And Kevin O'Connell, he has a good balance of being like a player's guy, but also being like, hey, like these are the rules. You're going to follow them or you're going to be disciplined. And Justin Jefferson, the leader that he is of that room, has come out and he was just like, yeah, that's on me. Like, I got to do a better job of keeping J.A.'s head in the game and keeping him under my wings. Like, it's not something to do. We had words, but like, he's a great talent and like, this is on me. I got to be a better leader. So kudos to him for that. We'll see if Jordan Addison comes out and own it. He played really well once he got involved in the game. He scored the winning touchdown for Minnesota. And that's what Addison does. Like, that has been his bread and butter. He scores. He almost scored, his first game back. He had that 70-yard catch that he somehow didn't score on. And then he had the game-winning touchdown here against Cleveland. I'm not overly worried about it, but I hope this sets him in the right direction, as he has had some off-the-field stuff in the past, and we'll see going forward there what it's like for Jordan Addison.
I get why it was done, but I think it really put you guys in a position to lose that game. I really do. I think Addison not being out there was detrimental to the team. Like his impact to that offense is huge. He's a phenomenal receiver. Obviously, he caught the game-winning touchdown. I just think you got to find a better way to punish that guy.
Yeah,
I get why it happened. It happens all the time in college. This isn't college. This is the professional football league.
But it kind of made sense
to just fine him.
Watching that, like, Justin Jefferson was hyper targeted when Addison, that first quarter.
Yeah.
Like, Jefferson was getting everything in the passing game.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Maybe this does set his head on forward, and maybe in a different scenario, he didn't get benched. Like if they were playing Green Bay or Detroit, maybe it was just like, okay, Cleveland's a little little bit weaker, and it's a tough defense that we know we're not going to win this game in the first quarter against that defense. So we'll just kind of, work it from there. And, but he also took Jordan Mason out of the game. Jordan Mason had a fumble, and he pulled him. Don't matter how great Jordan Mason has looked for Minnesota. Zaven Scott came out, and he was getting that next drive, and then ultimately he ended up fumbling, and Jordan Mason came back into the game. So Kevin O'Connell, I think he's trying to find a line between being a player's guy and being like, hey, like, we got to do our jobs, guys.
Yeah, I get why, but like, when Addison came back, it just opened up your offense so much. Like, Hawkinson wasn't doing anything until Addison came back.
No, Hawkinson
Jefferson
didn't really
was
do anything on Sunday either.
Yeah, but he almost tripled his catches when Addison came back and compared to when Addison was off the field. So it's just a weird thing. Like, you wouldn't have to hyper target Jefferson when Addison's out there because people have to cover Addison, and then it also opens up Hawkinson. It opens up the run game. I just think having Addison out there helps your offense so much.
Yeah. I think it's just where it was in the season with the bye week coming up. I think that was the right time to do it instead of like, I think if it was later in the year when games are becoming more and more important, I don't think he pulls him out for the first quarter. Like, this is playoffs on the line type of game, week 16. I don't think he pulls Addison out quarter one.
Yeah, I get why it happened, but oh, man, it's a hard call.
Tight ends. I feel every freaking tight end scored a touchdown this week. Like, I thought that only happens when it's tight end week or whatever happens.
National Tight Ends Day.
National Tight End Week, yeah. But AJ Barner continues scoring touchdowns in Seattle. Yay, this is a big robot walk.
He's got the best celebration in the world, dude. I love that
Ferguson
guy.
continues to be a superstar for Dallas. He finally scores. And it was twice. Theo Johnson, 2 touchdowns for the Giants. Sam Laporta got into the end zone. He looked great. Travis Kelce. Darren Waller had an incredible game. He was tight end 6 on the week.
Yeah.
David Njoku got into the end zone. Mason Taylor. Get him if he is there. Like, I think he is going to be a tight end 1 going forward. Like, the Jets, we brought it up. The Jets need a second passing option. Mason Taylor, great week this week. Jake Tungus, we can probably forget about him soon. George Kittle's going to be back. Dalton Kincaid continues to be consistent. Tyler Warren was tight end 11, and he had a good week. Evan Ingram, he got into the end zone. Harold Fannin got into the end zone. He was tight end 15. Dalton Schultz, we made fun of him. He was playable this week. Like, Trey McBride was tight end 20. Like, you kind of just forgot about him. And, I guess that's a player of the week, EAK. But, like, yeah, the tight end's gotten to the end zone this week, which is great to see because, like, the tight end position is a struggle at times. So it's always nice when, like, they actually, like, pay off.
Yeah, there was, in our home league, we had 17 tight ends that broke double digits in a full point PPR. So you absolutely love to see that. So many touchdowns went around. And then guys that didn't even get touchdowns, like Dalton Kincaid was 6 for 108, his first 100-yard game of his career. So shout out Dalton Kincaid. Mason Taylor had 9 catches for 70 yards. Huge game for a rookie going forward, like you said. You absolutely love to see it. Real quick on AJ Barner, he has 3 top 10 finishes this year. He was tight end 9, he was tight end 8, he was tight end 1.
Is it time we bring AJ Barner up as a streaming option here for Seattle? Because, like, I brought up Arroyo last week, saying, like, watch him, he had the most targets he had, but, like, AJ Barner keeps scoring. AJ Barner keeps playing, and, like, AJ Barner was a fine prospect. We considered him more of, like, a blocking guy, not a big, catch dude, but he's coming out here in a high-powered Seahawks offense. That just needs options here, and I think at this point, like, AJ Barner has, streamability.
I agree to the streamability. I wouldn't look at him as like he's my tight end going forward.
Yeah, no.
But if you're streaming the tight end, he only had 7 catches. He only had 7. He had 7 targets, 7 catches, which is phenomenal. But before that, it was 3 catches, 1 catch, 2 catches, 1 catch. So not a whole lot of work, but it has been getting more every single week. He scored in 3 of the last 4 games. And then he does his little robot dance, baby. Big body.
Big man walk.
Truly
Big man
love
on
it.
campus. AJ Barner.
I see it last week, and I loved it. And then he caught his first touchdown this week, and I'm like, do your dance. And he did it. And I was like, well, I'm an AJ Barner fan for the rest of my life.
He did it twice, too. Rest of season, how do you feel about, like, him compared to Theo Johnson?
Oh, not big on either of those, to be honest. Like, I think I would take Theo Johnson over Barner just based off of his production with Jackson Dart. His 2 games with Dart, he's had 3 touchdowns.
And also lack of weapons as well. There's not a lot of weapons in New York, whereas Seattle has down. Jackson Smith and Chigba.
Yeah, Barner benefits from the high-powered offense to where Theo Johnson benefits from the lack of positional talent around him. I would take Theo Johnson going forward.
But we would agree that like Mason Taylor is the name to get if he's out there on your waivers.
100%. Even if someone cut like the Browns tight ends like Njoku or Fanning, I would take Mason Taylor over those 2 guys going forward.
Yeah. But it was great to see Njoku come out, have a good game. As it's been kind of a struggle for him. So we'll see if Dylan Gabriel kind of focuses on him and Harold Fannin, and Isaiah Bond had 7 targets as well. So we'll see how that offense continues to develop here under Dylan Gabriel.
How all offseason we're like, we want Flacco to be Njoku's quarterback, and then he gets Flacco. He's absolute dog shit with Joe Flacco. Flacco gets benched. Here comes Dylan Gabriel, and Njoku has his best game of the season.
Best game of the season.
Joe Flacco.
It's funny how
fantasy's a funny thing.
Yeah. Do you think we see Shedeur this year?
Not if Dylan Gabriel keeps playing like that, to be honest. I think we'll see Shedeur if Dylan Gabriel has a string of bad games. He didn't turn the ball over. He played really clean football. He played Dylan Gabriel football.
Yeah.
Just like he did at Oregon. I think it's going to be like that in the Brown system this year. He's a really smart kid, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before we get into our players of the week, WEAK, let's shout out our other affiliate, W Energy. W Energy is far from weak. It is good, clean energy. Yeah, it does the AJ Barner big man dance. It's good, clean energy, jitterless energy. They got a ton of flavors. They do collabs with content creators, as well as the anime of the year in solo leveling. They have a Japanese soda flavor. They got the yuzu flavor. They got a blue tropical punch. They got a blue raspberry grape, as well as a ton of other flavors I'm not bringing up. They also dropped 2 new hydration line flavors. One's like grandma's lemonade. The other one's like a mango, I believe. Don't take my words. I don't remember off the top of my head. So check that out over at W. That's DUBBY.GG for the website, or you can get the app. Just search W in your app store. Use the code DRAFTEDUP for a cool 10% discount. You can use that code anytime. That's not good for just your first order. It's good for your second, your third, your 52nd. It's good when this podcast is done and over with and we're in the ground. You could still use that code DRAFTEDUP and remember us by that. So go support our friends over at W Energy. Be better. Eat that dub with W Energy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Some quarterbacks who weren't great for fantasy.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. Yes.
Dog piece of shit. I hate that man.
Geno Smith leads the league in interceptions. It is
I could have picked from any quarterback except Cooper Rush, and I would have had a fantasy win this week. But my dumbass is like, I want to stack him with Trey Tucker, who was fine this week. Tucker was fine. Geno was not. Any other quarterback besides Cooper Rush would have got me the win. Geno Smith is on my absolute hate list right now, so fuck you, Geno Smith.
Drake May wasn't great for fantasy. He looked great against Buffalo.
He played such a smart and clean game. It just didn't translate to fantasy.
Yep.
Like you could look at his stats and go, he had a bad game. No, he didn't. Drake May went out there and essentially handed it to Buffalo.
He's a dog. Drake May's
he's
that
so
dude.
Good, dude. He is so good.
I'm so glad that right now, like my stance on Drake May being like as good as Caleb Williams and on par with those guys is looking legit right now.
I can honestly say, I love Jackson Dart and I'm thrilled to have him as my quarterback going forward. I still wish the Giants were able to move up and get Drake May last season. He is so good.
I also
New England
wish
is in such a good place.
Been able to move up to get Drake May. We'll see.
You worried about
McCarthy
JJ?
Pans out. Yeah.
As a Vikings fan, are you worried about JJ McCarthy?
No, because he still hasn't played. So I can't.
But does that worry you?
Yes, it worries me that he's been hurt now twice in 2 years and missed legitimate time. That does worry me, but like the line as a whole has been injured. Like injuries have plagued the Minnesota Vikings this year. So I do want to see him behind, like, getting Christian Darrisaw, Donovan Jackson, Brian O'Neill, a healthy line. Then I'd be more willing to make a standing opinion on JJ McCarthy. Right now, I'm just kind of in the middle. Buyer's remorse with him. Yeah, sure. Because we could have had Sam Darnold, who's playing lights out right now for the Seattle Seahawks, and he played lights out for the Vikings last year. So, but I'm still excited for the prospect of JJ McCarthy with Kevin O'Connell in this offense.
I agree. I'm still more on the side of I am excited to see what he can bring, and I wasn't big on JJ, as any long-term listener knows on this pod, but I'm still giving the kid a chance. I think he's going to be good. He looks really good. This
is where you wanted him to end up too, in Minnesota.
Exactly. It's still in the best case scenario. And hell, this is and exactly, this is just extra time to sit. And we've seen that with quarterbacks. That sitting is the best thing for them.
He is still traveling with the team as well. He went over with the team to London, so he's been on the sideline. So I'm glad this isn't he's just sitting at home type of thing. Kyler Murray. We brought up that he'd be a good play this week against Tennessee. He was not great.
I think we can just plug in the Arizona Cardinals, man. It doesn't matter besides Michael Carter. Michael Carter actually had a good game. Yeah. Marv should have had a huge game. Like, Marv should have had a phenomenal game.
Dude, he had that,
and they just stopped using him.
Dude, they need to fire their offensive coordinator. I don't know who
they need to fire the whole. Can you fire an owner? Is that a physical thing you can do?
Make him sell the team. Make him sell the team like the NBA did with the Los Angeles Clippers. You have to sell the team. You have to sell the team.
It's insane what's going on in Arizona, dude.
Marv had that. He had that catch that ended up not being a touchdown, where he jumped over.
Yeah, and they were down at the one.
And he looked like that's the Marv that we saw in Ohio State.
How are you not
let this dude
hyper targeting him after that play? After that play, you're like, oh, he's so much better than anyone on this defense. Let's just keep throwing him the ball because he can tower this whole defense. Like, it's so dumb on how they're using Marv, dude. I hate it. Cannot stand it. This is so mad.
This is why, like, when you asked me, like, the neighbors Marv thing, that's why I was like, this is a scheme issue. This is an Arizona Cardinals problem, not a Marvin Harrison problem. Justin Herbert,
I agree to that, but dude, Herbert has been that offensive line is killing Herbert, bro, and it bums me out. I'm so sad.
Yeah. Like, Josh Allen was just okay. He was, a top 12, top 15 play though.
A lot of these quarterbacks are just like average.
Daniel Jones, they scored 40 points. You would have liked more from him. This was really a Jonathan Taylor heavy game for the Colts, whereas Daniel Jones, you see 40, you think he would have had a big game.
Didn't play the whole game. They pulled Jones. They pulled their starters, and Richardson came
in. Catch his own pass and then just carry three dudes. It looked great. I was like, okay, make this guy a tight end. Just run him and Tyler Warren at tight end.
I would like them to use him like Taysom Hill is used. Like, give him snaps. Just get him out there because he's a change of pace guy. Don't get him out there as your every down quarterback, but just give him a few snaps here and there. Just get him on the field a little bit. He's so athletic, but he's not a quarterback.
Yeah. Moving on to running backs. Travis Etienne, not the best game for him against the Chiefs. Hold on. My screen switched me to standard scoring, and I'm not about that.
I'll go. James Cook, he's been phenomenal all season. This was our first look at like a really bad James Cook performance. 49 yards on the ground. Didn't have any catches. He only had one target. So really bad performance from James Cook.
Derrick Henry continues to just be average here in Baltimore, and it's not a Henry hitting the wall thing. It's a Baltimore is just in a bad place right now thing.
Yep. Yeah, Derrick Henry's stats are drastically different in games that they're not winning, and the Ravens are 1-4. So his stats are going to be drastically different.
Woody Marks, he played Baltimore, and we were really hyped, and he was not needed. I don't think it was a Woody Marks. Like, Nick Chubb and him pretty much are 50-50, but like Houston did not need their running back. C.J. Stroud was just picking apart that defense back and forth. The run game just kind of became obsolete. Alvin Kamara continues to just be disappointing. Like, honestly, I want the Chargers to go out and trade for Alvin Kamara. I know it would muddle things when Hampton gets back, but this team needs a running back they can rely on, because I don't think it's Hassan Haskins or Kamani Vidal. Go out and get Kamara. New Orleans should be willing to ship this dude off and just letting Kendrick Miller, who's looked great for them in the limited time he's got to play, let him be the back. Like, get younger here, New Orleans. Move Kamara while he still has value.
I actually think the Chargers getting a veteran running back is so smart. Yeah, it muddies up the room, but that's what they wanted. They wanted Najee there. Like, look how the Chargers played when Najee was fully healthy. It was a 50-50 split with Najee and Hampton. They were both getting equal work.
Yep.
And then they relied solely on Hampton, and now he's hurt. And so you're looking at a backfield of 2 backups now. If you would bring in Kamara and then with Hampton, you could slowly work him back in there. You don't have to rush Hampton back.
You don't have to rush him back.
If you have Kamara on that team, and I still think the Chargers can make a deep playoff run if they're healthy, I think getting a guy like Kamara would be huge for that team.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. Isaiah Pacheco. Are we ready to move on from this guy? Like, do you drop, like, honestly, I'm at the point where, like, if I had Pacheco, I would drop him and pick up Rashard Smith. I know Rashard Smith didn't play a ton this past week. It was only like 6%. The week before that was almost 30, but he's being used in the passing game. And I think they're slowly building him into more, situational stuff. And, like, honestly, I don't want any back in Kansas City, but, like, I'd rather roster Rashard Smith than Isaiah Pacheco at this point.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is really the running back that should be played if you're playing a Kansas City back. It should easily be Kareem Hunt. Like, don't even think about it. And I kind of agree. I think I would take Smith long-term over Pacheco because I do think they're going to make the switch at some point. It seems like they're kind of ramping up Smith and giving him plays. Be like, oh, can you go do this? Let's see how you do. Oh, you did that well. Well, can you do this well?
Yep.
And if you do this well, we'll give you another thing, and then so on and so forth. They're
continuing to try to build trust with the rookie.
Yep.
The rookie running back, sort of like it kind of started leaning that way with RJ Harvey, who was it didn't go his way here against Philly, but that's because the game was so close, and we expected Philly to be more dominant in that game. They ultimately lost to Denver. So with that game being close, they didn't really have to rely on RJ Harvey in the passing game. That J.K. Dobbins was out there a little bit more. Trevion Henderson continues to just not get proper playing time in New England. I don't know did you see his jersey too? Like, the font on his jersey was so much smaller than everybody else's. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, Ramondre fumbled, and Gibson took over the backfield, and Gibson was the back, and then he tore his ACL. So now he's out for the year. And you would have thought, like, okay, like, it's Trevion Henderson. No, they went back to Ramondre. And, like, I know Trevion and Ramondre, they had, like, the same amount of carries, but, like, Ramondre's getting the passing game work. Like, it's really the confusing how Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel are utilizing Trevion Henderson. But, like, are you willing to drop him at this point? Like, he hasn't been good at all.
No, you don't start him, but any rookie running back should be rostered. Not any, obviously, but any that has, like, an opportunity, like Bill Krosky, Trevion Henderson, any guy that can take the leap later in the season. Like, we don't know what these guys are going to do. Look how long it took Bucky Irving to really get the full go in Tampa Bay. It was like week 10 or week 11 where Bucky was like, oh, it's actually his backfield now. And then he went on to carry teams through the playoffs. So I think Ramondre is going to continuously have this fumble problem all season. So I'm willing to say at some point Henderson will get the switch. I don't know when it's going to be, but he was a super talented kid in Ohio State, so I still trust him going forward.
Yeah,
but I do think it's going to be a split backfield for the rest of the season. I think Ramondre's just involved.
Bearing injury, bearing injury. I don't think Trevion takes over, which is a shame because he's got the juice to.
That team likes Ramondre Stevenson. That's what it comes down to.
A guy with juice. Like, Stephon Diggs has been good the last 2 weeks here for them, but, like, he doesn't have the juice to do that sort of thing. And Trevion gives them a whole other option here for Drake May. But, we'll see. Wide receivers, Keon Coleman, he saved his day with a touchdown. A.J. Brown continues to be disappointing. Wandale Robinson without, Malik Neighbors was just average. Who else?
Judkins had his first. Alamater kind of dropped the ball, but Quinton Judkins had his first disappointment game of the season, only 4 for 40.
It was a good real life game. Like, he looked good. He had 3 or 4 big runs called back by holding penalties and whatnot. Not getting into the end zone hurt him as well. It was his first game without a touchdown over at running back. Chris Godwin, we said chased the targets. He was outshined by Emeka Egbuka. Quentin Johnston finally had a down to earth game. I'm not worried about him long term. I'm more worried him talent wise. I'm more worried about the lack of a run game there hurting the passing game. But I think you could stay level with Quentin Johnston in your lineup. Jerry Jeudy continues to be not great. Jameson Williams, your play of the week, that just not involved. Didn't need him out there.
That's so. You had to beat me this week. Did you add up our plays this week?
No, I was doing it on Thursday, so I don't know who won yet. Your quarterback might have saved you, Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields may have carried me. Yeah. The fourth quarter, Justin Fields.
Yeah. Who else here? Kayshon Boutte, you can move on from him. Like Jacoby Myers, tough go for him in Vegas. Vegas in general was just a shit show on Sunday. Anyone else here? Darius Slayton. Like, what's the Giants receiving room? Like, what are they gonna do?
Nothing really. Wandale should be rostered. Slayton, you could probably roster him still, but he got banged up, so I don't even think Slayton's gonna be out there on Thursday. To be honest,
it's Jalen Hyatt time, baby. I will push that narrative as long as I'm alive,
and I will push that narrative far away as far as I can push it. That guy is horrendous.
He will not take my Jalen Hyatt.
Did you bring up Jacoby Myers?
What was that?
Did you bring up Jacoby Myers? He went 4 for 32.
Yeah, I started to, and then I went to the Giants thing. But yeah, like Jacoby Myers with the Vegas in general, just like I said, bad game across the board. But Trey Tucker was fine. But like not having Brock Bowers out there really hurt this team, and just getting fucking stomped by the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. I was wrong about the Colts. They're a good football team. I can't wait for them and Jacksonville to link up.
I believe the Colts play the Cardinals next week, so I'm excited to watch that bloodbath.
The last time Daniel Jones played the Cardinals with the New York Giants, he was a top 3 quarterback in fantasy. So keep that in mind.
TJ's start of the week.
It might be. Malik Washington, he was a hot commodity to go pick up. Not overly involved. I think at one point he had 4 catches for 0 yards.
Yeah. He is the pre-evolution of Wandale. It's like him, and then Wandale, and then, I don't know, Amon-Ra St. Brown is probably the best version of that.
It is expensive Wandale.
That is actually true. Not anymore, though. He had that nice 44.
Yeah. Anyone else here? Like, it seems like all the bad games are just kind of just guys who you'd expect to be bad. Isaiah Bond, you still putting in a claim for him? He did have 7 targets, not overly effective against Minnesota.
I'm not thrilled about it, but if I was like a Cedric Tillman owner in deep leagues and for some reason Bond's still out there, I would be cool with that. He's a good replacement to his own teammate.
Yeah, Josh Downs was fine, better than we thought he would be. So I
was going to say he was
put him in the dud category here. You could all I could bring up Nico Collins, who was like a top 20 play, but like he was outscored by Xavier Hutchinson on his own team. But we brought up with Nico, like you have to temper those expectations where he's not going to be the wide receiver 1, but you're not pushing him out of your lineup.
Yeah. As a Nico owner, I was still happy with his performance. Yeah. Though I could have used one more catch because it would have gave me the freaking win. 1 point. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable what happened here. Freaking Geno Smith.
Tight ends, Juwan Johnson.
Bum.
Tough game here for New Orleans, for him. It could have just been, the injury. They just kind of eased him out. They handedly beat you guys, so they just kind of maybe didn't push the issue there. I'm not really concerned about him going forward. Mark Andrews, bad game. TJ Hawkinson, it was a bad game. Trey McBride, very rarely will you see his name pop up in this. He was just 20th ranked tight end on the week in PPR. Hunter Henry, not a great go, just like as the New England offense as a whole, minus Stephon Diggs. Really didn't go. We brought up Tommy Tremble as a gross, like you could throw him out there because he's getting targets. No, it wasn't even a top 50 play this week at the tight end position in PPR. So sorry if you took our advice on Tommy Tremble.
Hey man, fantasy's a weird thing. Brenton Strange, he got hurt, but he shit the bed.
Yeah, I didn't want to bury him while he was down and be like, bad play.
Bury an injured man.
I also didn't bring up Hampton in the running backs because
I will bury an injured man because I'm pretty sure he may have been my start of the week.
He was your play of the week, yeah. So, who was my play of the week?
I think Zach Ertz had no catches. I think he one target for 0 catches.
Goosed,
I believe. I think
which we did not expect with Jaden Daniels. That's back. 3 bad weeks in a row here for Zach Ertz. Yeah. You can move on from him. Hey, Washington, why don't you put Ben Sinnott out on the field? Maybe get some juice from your tight end position.
Dude, I don't know, but they threw a ball to their backup tight end, and you and I were like, "Oh, that might be Ben Sinnott," and he got up and goes, "That's not Ben Sinnott. That's just another tight end."
I saw it. Like, Ben Sinnott. Like, nope, that's John Bates. Just plucked the dude here.
I just love casually wasting second-round picks on tight ends. They'll just never play. It's fine. We don't need them to. It's only a second-round pick, dude. It's nothing.
Makes no sense to me whatsoever what they're doing with Ben Sinnott. Maybe he's truly insane. Maybe I was just really wrong on my Ben Sinnott takes. Like even JT Sanders isn't like over. Like it started shifting that way this year, and then he got hurt. But like last year. Yeah, I don't know. The Ben Sinnott thing is a very strange one, though. Like he's just he has 1 catch for 7 yards on the year, and that was against the Packers.
I'm still willing to chalk it up to Cliff Kingsbury and coaching because they did the same exact thing to Trey McBride, and I don't understand the logic. Yeah, but maybe Sinnott isn't good. I don't know. But he's hasn't played.
I do get it more with Ben Sinnott than Trey McBride. Trey McBride was great in college, like phenomenal. Yeah. Like you could have made a case he could have went first round. He was just a tight end. Yeah, for sure. Like he should have been playing as a rookie, and they just didn't use him. And like it showed. Like they dropped the ball with him, and like he came out and freaking superstar when Zach Ertz got hurt. But hey, maybe we should give a shot at Ben Sinnott. Like worst case, he sucks, and you just go back to old man Zach Ertz.
I mean, he can't hurt the offense. I mean, he can, technically, but what do we have to lose at this point? We have no pass catchers besides Deebo Samuel out there right now. Yeah. And Ben Sinnott, he translated to a super...
Chris Moore and the kid from the practice squad whose name I don't even remember. I saw him catch a pass. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, they had a guy literally catch the ball, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. What is happening? And that rarely happens, so... But like Sennett's profile, like he's an athletic, shiftier guy. He can move around. He can play H-back. He can play tight end. He can kick it out. Mm-hmm. He can do a little bit of everything. And then we're just not giving this guy a chance in an offense that drastically needs playmakers. So I don't get what's going on. Even if we want Zach Ertz out there, you can run 2 tight ends. Teams do it. What are we doing? Go out there, play big man formations. Go get these guys on the field.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I could. I was trying to find this receiver's name, and I none of the names are on their depth chart. I'm just like, I know all these guys, so this guy's got to. I can't even find him on the depth chart. Okay, Thursday night football. You ready? You're not, because it's the Giants.
No, I'm not. I was really hoping we'd beat the Saints, and then this game could possibly get us back to 500, but we severely dropped the ball versus New Orleans. We had 3 turnovers, played like shit.
Kudos to Kellen Moore getting his first win, and Spencer Rattler started his career 0-10 as a starter.
0-12, something like that.
Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to New York to take on their division rival, the New York Giants, on Thursday Night Football. The Eagles are 7-point road favorites. Over under a 40.5 total for both teams. The Giants. This one will be easy. Are you playing anybody that's not Cam Scatterbo? Tyrone Tracy going to be back?
I haven't heard anything about Tracy. He's still been limited in practice, but judging that it's a Thursday night game, I'm probably not thrilled that he's going to be out there, even if he is.
Last report was an hour ago. Giants optimistic Tracy plays week 6, trending towards return.
So that's fine. I'm not playing Tracy.
Yeah, you're not going to play him his first week back.
But I do think he takes carries away from Scadaboo, so he hurts the only guy that's playable in this week for the Giants. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah. You throwing Wandale in or no?
No, not particularly.
Theo Johnson? Like, there's only 2 teams on bye this week, and it's Minnesota, and you're probably not overly relying on T.J. Hawkinson. The other team's Houston, and if you're starting Dalton Schultz, I'm sorry. Even though he had a decent game this week, he shouldn't be your regular tight end. So the 2 teams on bye, not strong tight end contenders. So like I'm on the just see what Theo Johnson's involvement continues to be for New York.
I agree. If you're streaming tight ends, I would try not to start Theo Johnson, but if you're rostering 2 tight ends, Theo Johnson might be one of them to look at, because later in the season, if he keeps getting these red zone targets, he's going to score a lot of points.
Yeah, when you're streaming or looking for an upside guy tight end, you chase the touchdowns, and that Theo Johnson's like a 3 with Jackson Dart.
Yeah, and in his college profile, he is theoretically the most athletic tight end in combine history. So it's not like he's not fast, athletically gifted. Oh yeah, it's an insane stat that Theo Johnson is athletically gifted, the best tight end in combine history. It certainly doesn't translate to the NFL field. I can tell you that much. Yeah, and we constantly said that all throughout his draft process. Like, his combine was insane, and we'd watch his tape. He goes, he's not that fast. He's fast, but he's not. He's a different player with pads on, dude.
He looked like a slow opening door when he would make a cut. Like, Saquon Barkley was banged up here earlier this week, but he was upgraded today. He's going to play. He's going to be out there regardless, and you're not going to take him out of your lineup. He had his longest run of the season this past weekend. It was like 17 yards. So
he's going to break one this week. I'm confident.
There's a good chance.
He's playing
He'll do
the
anything
Giants
to whoop up the Giants. This could just be a Saquon game, and the Eagles' passing game just becomes non-existent, though they should be chasing because Deonte Banks has been bad. I whiffed on that one. I would love Deonte Banks coming out of Maryland, but he has not been good for the Giants. Drew Phillips had a nice little bounce-back game this past week, but you're not going to bench A.J. Brown, even though you probably want to. Devonta Smith had a good game this past week. It's hard to move on from him. It's easier to bench Devonta Smith than A.J. Brown, though. Dallas Goedert's a fine play. Like, he's like a better version of Theo Johnson. You're going to chase the touchdown. There's a good chance Dallas Goedert gets one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm playing pretty much all my Philly guys, but I'm not particularly thrilled about anyone besides Barkley.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's see if we can find a line for Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith or Zay Flowers. Flowers and crew are playing the Rams. We don't know if Lamar's going to be back yet, so I guess Flowers.
Lamar's not. Lamar's already ruled out. Give me Smith.
What about the Chargers crew? Ladd, Huge, and Keenan Allen.
I would honestly probably.
They're playing
the Chargers playing. Yeah, I'd probably play all 3 of the Chargers guys.
Same game, Jalen Waddle. Would you play him over Devonta Smith?
Smith, yeah, I'd play Waddle. He had a really big week.
I would play Jalen Waddle over A.J. Brown. Hot take.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What about Steph Diggs? There's one. He's kind of on the rise. Diggs or Smith? Diggs is playing New Orleans.
Give me Steph Diggs. I think I would play Steph Diggs over A.J. Brown this week as well.
I agree. That's also like an insane thing to say.
What about Chris Olave versus New England? I think I'd play Olave over Smith.
No, I think I'd lean Smith there because Christian Gonzalez is really good, so I think he just shadows Olave. So I'll lean Smith there, but that one's close. I'd probably have them back to back. Jalen Hurts though, it's been a little up and down. Would you play Jalen Hurts or Matt Stafford against Baltimore?
Stafford versus Baltimore.
We
actually in our home league we had a guy make that switch last week. He started Stafford over Jalen Hurts last week, where Hurts played Denver, and then Matt Stafford, who the Rams play.
San Francisco.
They played San Fran, and Stafford whooped him up, dude. He dropped almost nearly 4 points on Thursday night. Effort. Yeah, but to make that switch for a quarterback on Thursday night, that takes balls. To bench Jalen Hurts for a quarterback going on Thursday, So, and it paid off for him. But shout out, I would play Stafford over Hurts this week.
All right. I think we're both picking the Eagles to win this game, right?
Yeah, for sure. Last week I picked the Giants for the first time all season. It bit me in the ass. So I'm picking Philly.
The Giants for the first time, and they go out and let you down. Go figure. Classic.
We looked good in the first half, man. And then Slayton turned the ball over late in the half, and then New Orleans went down, kicked the field goal, went up to go. It was 16-14 or something like that at half. So they went up in half, but we played so much better than them before that, and that turnover just killed us, dude. Dart had 2 turnovers after that, and it just went all downhill.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Drafted Up Podcast. That's in the books. You know where to find us. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Thank you guys for listening through. Like, rate, subscribe, review, all that stuff. Comment on, like you said, if there's anybody you want us to get eyes on for Prospect Spotlight Series or your game balls, guys who had good games in college you want to shout out, throw that in the comments. I keep saying I'm going to be better about it, and I keep waiting till the end of the show to bring it up. I'm gonna start. Maybe I gotta write it down. Like your thoughts on Eagles Giants. Like maybe you think Devonta Smith is a wide receiver 1 this week against a bad New York Giants team. Hey, that's you. Call your shot. Put it in the comments. Guys that you like, anybody you wanted to shout out as, guys you're targeting on the waivers this week, all that good stuff. Throw it in the comments. I do my best to reply to most, if not all of them. So Drafted Up Podcast. That's Nick. I'm Theo. Thanks for supporting our show. Like, rate, subscribe, review, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. We will catch you guys on Thursday. I might catch you guys tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. Adios.